Alright, let's do this. Call of Duty World War II Zombies is coming to an end, and I thought it was time to talk one last time about the game. For those of you that are new to my channel, I started doing YouTube about 1 year ago, when World War II released. As a fan of zombie modes, I instantly fell in love with the game. There was something about the atmosphere that caught my interest. It was a lot more darker than everything that I had seen before, whereas other developers prefer a more lighthearted way to fight your way through a zombies horde. World War II focused more about jump scares and a twisted story about lost artifacts, legends and the sick mind of a German scientist. It was intriguing, to say the least, and although their season started strong, there were some unused or missed opportunities along the way. Sledgehammer Games, the developers of the game, might not have the biggest resources to make every map or detail perfect, but what they did was still a very good job. Given the fact that this was their first turn on the zombies mode, you have to give them credit for that. They created something that is very special and, in my opinion, unfortunately also very underrated. I'm not gonna lie, a year ago I had some main issues about the game. I was complaining about the broken supply drops and their leveling system. But since then, they made all the right choices. They gave you a compensation for your supply drops, and they let you keep your XP if you close the game or get disconnected. They even nerfed the amount of Wüstling zombies in the game and made some adjustments for solo players. Of course, I could talk about all the things that I don't like, but I'm sick of people that hate World War II just for the sake of hating it. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it's not a Treyarch Zombies game. No, you might not care about the characters or the story if you only played it once. But I can promise you that in a couple of years I will be looking back at all the things and memories that I have about the game, and I will be glad that I made the decision to play this game. So let's talk about the good things. For example, their innovation. Sledgehammer Games brought special abilities and character challenges to the table. Something that changed the gameplay in a lot of ways and something that gave the game more replay value. So let's talk about the maps. The Final Reich is still my favorite map after all. It was the first map and had the best combination of atmosphere and stuff to do. The 4 elemental Tesla guns were fun to upgrade and satisfying to use. The lore behind the Ravenlords and King Barbarossa was interesting. The introduction of Geistkraft energy made sense, and overall the story felt more grounded. There was no magic behind everything, no flying dragons or different timelines. The 4 main characters were decent but left definitely room for improvement and more character development. Dr. Straub might have been my favorite character from all of them. The German scientist who created all kind of zombies and was obsessed with pain himself made a great villain. It was nice to find out more about his motivations through the audio recordings. One thing that really stood out in the Final Reich was the notebook and the 2 Easter eggs, the easy one and the hardcore one. The hardcore Easter egg was really difficult, and by giving the player the option to do the easy one, the developers made a great beginner-friendly first map. Which brings me to Größtenhaus, the first survival map. It was also the setting for the prologue mission. All in all, this map was really small, but in no way was it an unnecessary addition. No, it was a lot of fun to just mess around and to go for high rounds, especially in public games. The prologue character challenges are still to this day the hardest challenges in the game. These 2 maps were a great start, but unfortunately not enough people were on board with this more mature and darker direction. Which leads us to the Darkest Shore. This map was in no means bad, but it was too similar to the first one. The atmosphere was the same, and they even went one step further and introduced fog. The Easter egg was also not solo friendly or easy for a 4-player squad. But the biggest complaint might have been that it felt a bit empty. There was not a lot to do, apart from the Easter egg and the character challenges. Yes, the Darkest Shore had 36 new character challenges, but once they were solved, the map was more empty than ever before. From a story perspective, it was still good. We had our team going after Dr. Straub again, and we learned about the Nervous Goddess and the Meuchler zombies. The map focused on real-life events like the bombing at the end. Our team also discovered another part for Barbarossa's sword. And while these fetch quests might have been a bit repetitive, I didn't care. I had fun visiting new locations and learning more about our characters. Which brings us to the Shadowed Throne, Berlin. This map changed the atmosphere a lot. We had some bright daylight and a destroyed city. Of course, we had Pack-a-Punch and a new wonder weapon, but the biggest addition were the new melee weapons. Some of them were just laying around the map and others had to be obtained. All in all, it was fun and gave the players more ways to play the game. There was also this movie letters side Easter egg that gave you the previous wonder weapons, for example. It was such a fresh addition that helped the map a lot. The Easter egg steps were more interactive than ever. We had to talk to the smuggler or to lower the blimp pod by shooting it with our wonder weapon. It felt exciting to finally board the Zeppelin. Our conclusion to Dr. Straub was shocking and left a lot of room for speculations. His death was definite and felt satisfying. The boss fight was really balanced this time. It was not too difficult, and the character challenges were all new and well thought out. There was even one where you couldn't take any damage for 30 rounds. That was fun, but time moved on and we got introduced to the Tortured Path. This time we got 3 different maps and Easter egg segments, and while I give them credit for doing something new and innovative, I can't say that I was the biggest fan of the Tortured Path. Why? Well, mainly because it felt repetitive. The objective waves and the challenges this time were all somewhat the same. We always had to kill special zombies or to defend something. But there were also some creative ones like the blimp objective. This one really put a smile on my face because it was a connection to the Final Reich. Chapter 1's Easter egg was by far the most annoying one in all of World War II zombies, because you had to be very precise. There was no room for mistakes or you had to restart. On every round you had to max out your efficiency, and it took a while to get used to it. The map design was fantastic. It was nice to have a bright map like Into the Storm, and Beneath the Ice had some stunning Lost City atmosphere. The Easter egg was not solo friendly. In fact, I would argue that this was the most difficult Easter egg for solo players. However, here's why I'm not the biggest fan of the map pack. It's because they reused a lot of things. And before I go on, yeah, they might not had a lot of resources to expand their story or map at this point. However, I can't defend the fact that they had no new wonder weapons or that they used the same boss zombies, except the Guardian, because I loved it that the Darkest Shore, for example, had Meuchler zombies. Together with the Fog, they stood out as iconic zombies in World War II, and to see them return in these maps without the Fog, without the fear, was disappointing. They were easy to kill and not even scary anymore. The same thing counts for the Stadtjäger and the Sizzler zombies from the Shadowed Throne. It would have been so much better if these zombies were unique to their maps. Yes, give me the old Tesla guns from the supply drops, but give me new enemies to test them out. The wonder weapons were definitely a good idea, but new zombies would have been better to give the maps a better balance between nostalgia and innovation. The Frozen Dawn, DLC 4 and the last map for World War II zombies. This map was a pretty good conclusion to our journey. First of all, the 4 wonder weapons were all unique and fun to use. The lore behind the 4 Raven Lords and their own melee weapon brought some overall closure to the story. Each Raven Lord and weapon had its own theme and abilities. The story behind Vivian's corruption and betray was a nice plot twist, and the God King was a worthy last boss enemy. For the longest time I was thinking that King Barbarossa would be the final boss. But I was wrong. We find out that it's more like a cycle where brave heroes turn into Raven Lords to prevent the God King from obtaining power. It happened once before and now it happened again. And in the end we got a whole revelation about Raven Crown, the bad elite character. He was using our characters for his own agenda. And somehow it's an open ending. They could do a continuation and bring all the characters back, or they keep the story and tell a new one with 4 new Raven Lords. Either way, I'm looking forward to their next game. So the Frozen Dawn gave us one last time the perfect combination between fun gameplay, unique challenges and story development. Sledgehammer also gave us super Easter egg rewards. You could unlock a zombie character skin for completing all the Easter eggs. And they gave us SMGs to pick for our starting weapon. Between DLCs, they provided some great seasonal content. For example, the St. Patrick's Day theme or the Moon and Storm Raven outfits for our hidden characters. This was great and gave the game more replayability. Especially the Moonraven outfits looked awesome. Overall, it was a pretty good season. The developers were listening to the feedback and gave us 4 unique zombie maps that all were a lot of fun. They even confirmed that DLC-free survival maps will be finally unlocked for everyone who has bought the map pack. Previously, you had to complete the Easter egg to unlock them. So they really did their best for a small team to make the biggest and best experience for the players. And for that effort, I just want to say thanks, Sledgehammer Games. You did a great job and I will always remember this game. As some of you might know, I pretty much focused on the secret character challenges in the game, and I'm glad that I could provide gameplay and guides for almost every character and challenge. Don't worry, we will find out the last challenge before Black Ops 4 comes out, I promise. But I was gonna say that these challenges have been a lot of fun, because some of them really tested my limitations as a gamer. They were not easy. Some of them might have been easy, but I choose to go the legit and difficult way. There is this feeling that you can get when you accomplish something really difficult, be it in real life or in a non-essential video game. You can feel proud about it and remember the failures and lessons for your next goal. I might read too much into it, but I just wanted to say that it wasn't exactly easy all the time. And it's good if a game can be fun, but also challenging. But here I am, trying to give you some insights about my personal thoughts. And if I'm being completely honest, it feels strange. I mean, I never cared for likes or dislikes or to get YouTube famous or anything like that. I just tried my best to provide content about something that I liked and that was not a complete waste of time for the viewers. And in no way am I saying that my content was perfect. No, I definitely could have been more considerate. But I still want to take this opportunity to say thanks. Thanks for watching my videos and for giving me the feeling that I did not waste my time uploading stupid challenges on YouTube. For the longest time I wasn't sure if I should cover Black Ops 4 when it comes out. Because it will provide so much content and I was worried about getting burned out. Because at the end of the day I just want to have a good time and play the game without the pressure that comes from doing YouTube. But I realized that I now have an audience and the obligation to cover this game. I mean, I have this opportunity and somehow I don't want to be forgotten. So with that being said, I will cover Black Ops 4 as good as I can when it comes out. It will be like the next big challenge and I hope that we will all have a good time and enjoy the game. Let's have a great new Zombies season and still remember the old one. Thanks for watching.